So, how do you actually stay unreactive and grounded and calm in a very tight or tense situation? So, every time you know, let's say I'm talking to my girlfriend and he, I'm talking to my girlfriend and she started just like lashing out on me, just like she's just getting mad, she's getting very emotional, right? And as a man, what we're actually supposed to do is actually to think to ourselves like, okay, why is she doing this? She's probably not doing this on purpose. She's probably doing this because of X or because of Y. And because that boy in me still wants to react actively or passively. And so during that moment, I actually like just lash out on her again. Like I said, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing this to me, right? Like, it's like I don't deserve any of this. Firstly, firstly, a human doesn't deserve someone else to lash out on them, of course. But I mean, like, you have to understand the feminine energy in her. Now, that's besides the point. The point is, on this video, I'm going to show you how to actually be unreactive and stay calm and grounded in times like, let's say, with your girlfriend, where your girlfriend just like lash out everything, right? Or you're with your sister, just like get mad, get angry, and all that. You don't want to just get mad and get angry as well to her. Just react like, or let's say you're in an argument and you want to, and then you can't think, you can't control yourself to think like, okay, just breathe first. What should I do? What is this all about? And instead, you're like overthinking about, oh, is it my fault? Is she okay? What's the problem behind? But I didn't do that. But she does this. But blah 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 blah. Blah. Your brain is just full of conflict and just chaos, right? The problem is you have to control your impulses. Now, as a man, what is controlling your impulses? From the word impulse or impulsive, or maybe you've seen it. Let's take an example of your partner or your wife. Impulse buying, right? Impulsive purchases, right? It's just impulsive purchases are like you go to the online store or you go to like a supermarket or anywhere, a grocery, and you just get everything from the what is that thing called? From the from the online store. You see a lot of items that are really unnecessary, and you just add to cart, 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 add to cart until the value, the amount of money is like thousands of dollars, right? That's what impulse means. And if we can link this analogy to impulses in your emotions, it's when you basically how you react to things, right? In a tense situation, if it's the unhealthy way, is you react to it aggressively or you react to it passively, right? You're like, there's some moments where someone gets mad at you and you're like, oh no, but blah, 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 oh no, but blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? You don't let yourself to actually think first. You don't let yourself to actually dissolve it, to accept it, to actually gather the information and think to yourself, okay, what is she talking about? Or what is he talking about? What are the emotions that I want to let out and express? What does that look like in me? What does that gonna do in others? Right? And as a mature man, you have to control your impulses, or else you will self-sabotage yourself by destroying the relationship that you're with, by just getting mad at her and not actually understanding her, and she will blame you and you will blame her. A lot of this will happen almost in a split second. And if you don't want that, you have to learn how to do impulse control. And this is not only to your partner, it can be to your mom, to your dad, well, if you still have a dad, to your little brother, to your little sister, to your older brother or older sister, to strangers, your grandpa, your grandma, your community, everyone around you. You have to learn to control your impulse. And it shows up in like when you get triggered, when you feel sad because someone says something to you. In conclusion of that is basically when you are in a tense situation, when you feel something in your body, something tense, something tight. And that's where I want to say point number 2 is that you have to do somatic breathing. And I think you know this, but I like to call it breathing to your belly. So what does that mean is, right, I'm sitting upwards like this, right? You want to feel your belly, you want to breathe, but feel your belly like bulging out. If you feel your belly bulging out, you're breathing right. You want to have this oxygen flow around your body, in all your parts of your body, your head, your brain, your hands, your belly, your chest, upright, your legs, your pelvis, right? Your penis, your testicles, everywhere. You want to have the oxygen that you inhale flow all over your body, through your body. This is what I call somatic breathing, from the word soma, which means body, right? Now, when you do this, I have my notebook with me. When you do this, you gain sort of clarity on what you think, right? Let's say you're in a tense situation, and when you breathe, you're likely going to be able to actually think properly from that, which means gaining more clarity and becoming more decisive, instead of just like having tense situation and your breathing is very shallow and you don't have the time in order for scientifically, biologically, in order for you to think properly, you have to allow oxygen to go through your brain. But if you don't have that, then you're not going to be able to think properly, right? It's just science. So somatic breathing allows you to put your oxygen in parts that you close it before you breathe, in parts that you have tensed, in parts that you feel tense. Like let's say your chest feels tightened when you're in an argument with your partner or with your mom or with your sister. When you breathe, when you deep breathe onto your belly, you can feel that tightness in your chest, right? But then what do you do after? Right? What do you feel and what do you do after? First, you feel clarity, right? And after you feel clarity, you want to release it. Feel it. It can be in your brain, in your head, in your arms, in your belly, in your chest, in the back. You can have back pain when you're in a tense situation, when you're in an argument, or in your leg, in your pelvis, in your glutes, wherever it is. You want to feel that pain, but then you want to release it. And that release, it can either go through cry, you can cry it out. Let's say you feel something, you feel fear in your heart, somewhere in your chest area. When you breathe, when you release, you actually let those emotions feel it, because you don't want to go against the emotions. You want to undergo the feeling of emotion. You don't want to be scared of feeling the emotions, because then again, God tells us to feel emotions, to feel the emotions of sadness, of excitement, of happiness, nostalgic, and any emotions. We're supposed to feel emotions. We're supposed to be there with the emotions. We don't want to turn those emotions into our false self, though. That's the thing. But we want to feel through our emotions. We want to let our emotions sit there in silence. And so you want to do this every time you're in a tense situation, in order for you to not actually self-sabotage yourself and hurt someone else, or control or manipulate someone else, Because when you don't do that, when you don't do the breathing part, you're still in a tensed up body, which allows you to say stuff that you don't really mean, to act when you don't actually want to act like that. So, again, it seems cliche, but you want to think before you act. You want to think twice before you act. So this is what somatic exercise or breathing allows us to do. Another point that I want to talk about, number 3, is that you want to integrate your shadow. After you do that somatic breathing in a tense situation, right? And you feel that in your chest. And that's when you want to integrate your shadow. You want to ask yourself, what do I really need right now? What do I really mean when I say this to the person? What does this person really mean? What does this person really want? What does this person really need? What truth do I want to tell to this person? What do I really need, and what do I really want? And I want to tell the person what I really want. What is it in me? What is it? Right? You want to ask the boy. You don't want to just remove the boy in you, right? You want to comfort the boy first and say, okay, I see you, I understand what you feel. Please tell me more. Let me understand what you really feel. Maybe you can also think about your father when you're doing this as well. Maybe think about, okay, let's say you're not able to say no to someone. In that moment of not being able to say no to someone, you can breathe, release, and comfort yourself. Stay calm and grounded, unreactive. Think about, what do I really want? What do I really need? And then smile through it. And perhaps you can also think about, how is this affected by your father? How your father actually affected you or caused you to have this feeling, and what a healthy version of you or a mature man of you can say or can react to it. How a mature man actually react to it. You know yourself once you breathe and once you get clarity from it. You don't want to stay passive or aggressive, like in an active way, or passive aggressive response, because that's the boy inside you, not the man. And so now, after you do that breathing, you feel safe to feel, and you don't have anywhere else to run. Because then after you breathe, after you release that tightness, maybe through crying, through anger, through punching the wall, or punch your pillow, or scream to the pillow, you allow yourself to feel that anger, to feel that fear, to feel that sadness, to feel that confusion in you, to feel that lost feeling in you. And so now you're safe. You also bring God into it. You bring God into the unknown. You bring God into your shadow work. And from there, you can ask the boy to let you understand what he truly means and mature it by integrating your shadow. Now, you can stay peaceful, calm, and grounded at any tense moments. If I were to repeat, first, you gotta learn how to control your impulses. How to do that. Every time you're in a tense moment or a tense situation where your fear, your anger, or anything like that is trying to come out of your body because you're trying to say a point to a person, or you got affected by someone or a person, which results with these effects or these results in you being angry, scared, sad. You want to allow yourself to breathe through that emotions until you feel your belly bulging and until you feel the oxygen flow in the rest of your body parts. And you want to release through just exhale, or if you want to release it through exhale and crying or screaming or punching something, that's okay for the man to do that. But you want to do it in your inner self first. And after you do that, you will gain clarity on what you actually truly want. And then you can bring that clarity back to your brain in order for you to decide what to do next. And to decide what to do next, you have to ask yourself, what does a healthy version of me would do? What would a mature man inside me would do? What would the boy really want, but just don't understand how to do it? And that's on you. Only you can solve yourself. You let God into that wound, and then you will stay grounded and become the young man you always wanted to be, and have this freedom to feel, have this freedom to come out and to express. But you always got to do it in a healthy way. That's how to stay grounded and unreactive in a brief way. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.